I've got no idea what this is going to machine like. This is a bit that I've had. The face teeth are a little bit blunt. The side teeth are okay, but I figured I don't want to use a nice sharp one on wood because it will probably just blunt it anyway. So I'll use one that's, you know, mediocre. So anyway, there you go. I don't know what it's going to machine up like. I haven't got a clue. We'll see, won't we? Well, I didn't do too bad a job actually. Very quiet sand on that, and that'll be fine. Right, now somehow I've got to bring it down to dimension that way. I don't quite know what's going to happen when it comes off the end here. Obviously because it's going to want to try and splinter it. But, well, we'll see. The ends are being radiused off anyway to a 30mm circle, so it's not going to be the end of the world, but hopefully it won't splinter it like a mad thing. So we'll see, we'll see. That's actually really good. I'm very surprised about that. Well, it's starting to move. Bingo! Right, well, that's pretty much unusable anyway, but this looks okay. So these are my next project. These are hinges of a plane. Off the top of my head I cannot remember which one. I'll put a link in the description below so you can have a read up. And it might even be in the description of the video. But either there's top and bottom hinges, there's only one door on the plane. I'm not making these for flight use, these are for static display purposes. There are quite a lot of these in museums, these planes. The ones that are flying desperately need hinges, but they can't get hold of the hinges because they're all on the ones that are in museums. So I'm making a load of hinges, and hopefully the people that need the hinges for their flying planes might be able to get a pair and coax a museum out of these ones. But either that's their lookout, as it were. So top and bottom hinge, I can't remember which way round it goes. They're actually off two different planes, these, because that was all I could get hold of a matched pair, believe it or not. These ones are apparently a military plane because they had a bronze bushing, and the civilian plane didn't have the bronze bushing. Either both planes apparently suffer with the hinges snapping off through the thinner section here. As you can see, it's just slightly thinned down. I'm doing a basic casting, not doing any machining. I'm filling this hollowed out section, and basically that's what I'm doing. So it's basically going to be a blank casting, no holes, and I've got to do 10 of each one to start with. So, you know, quite a few little jobs. First job will obviously be run these up in the grinder, get them cleaned back to bare metal, filled, and then I will be painting them, and I will start casting them up. Right, a while ago I dropped my calipers. This is an old mechanical set of calipers, but I love this set, and I'll show you why. It's got metric and imperial. Draper Expert. Draper's a British brand. I don't know whether they're available anywhere else in the world. I've not got a clue. And they make okay tools, a bit more of DIY stuff, but this is an excellent piece of kit and I really loved it. But as I say, I dropped it, and now as you crank it, gets to about there, stiff spot. Gets past it, another stiff spot. It's quite stiff now. And then it goes again, nice and smooth. Another stiff spot. And then it's alright. Which is really weird that it's only stiff up there. So I don't quite know what's going on inside it. But so I love this thing, and I've looked and I can't find anything close to being the same. So I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm presuming it's in here. No screws on this part of it, so I'm presuming that it comes apart somehow via the top. Certainly looking underneath, it looks like there's some sort of holes there, but how you get at them, I don't know. So I don't know whether just to take the stop off, which is these screws here, I don't know whether these two screws here will allow it to come off and then there'll be something else I can get at, because I really don't know how it goes together. I can see a parting line there. I don't know if you can see that in the light or not, but there's a small parting line just in front of my fingernail. But how that attaches to that, I'm not sure. And I don't know how you get the gauge off, or the dial off. So all I can do, I think, is take these two screws here apart and just see, slide it off and just see if there's anything else obvious. I fear not, but so there are small Phillips. What size was that? 0 times 4, whatever that is. That size, presumably. Right, so there's them. Got me new mouse mat dirty already. Great. Oh, well, that's off in its entirety. Be careful not to lose that. Remember to put that on first. Ah, right, okay, well that's like the gib, I suppose. Use a bit of brass. Right, well, I'm in two minds now, as if there might be something wrong with that rack. I can't see anything, but of course at the moment it's screwed to that. I can unscrew the rack. Is it possible? Yes. I really don't know how this comes apart. Right, okay, all I can do then is take that rack off and just see if there's any damage up here. If I can't find any damage, it's going to be a short-lived video because I'm going to have to send it off to somebody. Let me just double check. Rack goes into the centre. I'll wipe down while I'm at it. Well, I can see something there. I thought that was that end. Let's have a look with a magnifying glass. Well, teeth are not that sharp at that end, that's for sure. Yeah, there's a bit of crud in the end of the gear, rack gear, that end. I think I might just give that a very light wire brush and put it back on. Right, so I need to come off with the rack. I'm trying to line up the two liners and I think it's going to be, so I think I need to come forward on the rack a little bit. Well, I'm getting there now, and what an absolute ball ache that has been. I turned you off just because I was getting frustrated. So, as it turns out, it's relatively easy to set up the dial and the rack, because the rack comes to exactly the same height as the depth gauge. So with the main frame out of the way, you put the rack in, or you put this to 0, you slide the rack in to the dial and engage the teeth, and then you slide the whole mechanism together. Sounds easy, doesn't it? Well, that bit is not too bad, but in here we've got the little brass or bronze tensioning strip to pinch it together, and I could not get that in place, hold the rack in place and slide the mechanism together all in one. So in the end I resorted to slipping it together without that in, slackening the two adjustment screws for tension and sliding in the bronze brass strip afterwards. That worked. So at the moment I've got it all assembled. In fact, the needles are probably just a gnat's whisker out, but we're only talking, well, if I can hold it straight, yeah. I'd like to have been where my thumbnail is, but you know, it's like I'm not too fussed about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop in all the other screws to the rack, and then we will see if it's made any difference. So I can only apologise for the lighting and everything. Right, okay, let's do those screws up now properly. Sigh of relief. I'm so pleased. I only tend to use these in the office when I'm measuring stuff for cadding up, and although I don't really use the imperial side of things at all, it's still so useful to have. It's all nice and smooth. So right, joy of joys.